and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. I've said it a million times, always use a professional. And though the lady next to me is a professional, she's very difficult with her name. I was like, really? I said it wrong twice. So let's see if I can get it right. Next to me is Kyla McAuliffe.
Great job.
Did I get it right?
That's me.
Okay. Yeah, I call her Kayla. I call her, I mean, so you are part of ADP, not AT, whatever, D, P, whatever. Okay, so what is ADP?
So ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing, and we are the largest payroll company in the world. Well, largest human capital management company.
Okay, but you're in the HR space, right?
Right.
Okay, so you do more than just payroll?
More than just payroll. ADP is known for payroll, but
Right.
it's only 15% of what we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the corporate world, unlike me, okay? Do you find it, and I hate to say this, but women in the corporate world have now found their place. Still a little more difficult, but they found their place, thank God. Do you find it difficult for some places that you go because you're a woman?
As far as meeting with different clients or
Yeah.
at ADP?
No, meeting with different clients.
I haven't really had that experience, and I think it's because of the space that I'm in, because what I did before was a little bit different being in staffing, but now I meet with companies that are pretty large, so they have kind of policies built out for the most part. So usually if I'm meeting with a company, they already have HR and payroll set up for the most part, so they know kind of the right way to
I would
act.
break all the HR rules here, okay? I yell at everybody, okay? And I say what I want. That's the good thing about a small business. Okay, how long are you doing this?
And next week will be my 2nd year anniversary with ADP.
Okay, so you got 8 days
Time
to
sensitive.
so you got 8 days till then.
Yes.
Okay, why'd you get into it?
I got into it because I was doing staffing for a while and I didn't really feel like it was a fit, but
Same
I liked
wheelhouse.
I like the HR space, yeah.
You know, it's interesting because there have become so many rules within HR, and I don't think a business, whether it be a small business, medium-sized or large, can keep up with it on their own. I think we need help, okay? And not only do we need help because we can't remember all the rules and all the changes, but we need help because, and I could be wrong, but it takes us out of being the bad guy.
That's true,
Okay?
yeah.
And that's a major issue because there are things that go wrong that are not things, minor things that go wrong that need to be corrected.
Right.
Okay? And they don't need to be corrected by me yelling at my worker or by me firing my worker. It needs to be, because if I yell at them or fire them, I become the bad guy.
Right.
Okay? If you explain to them how HR works and what the rules are, they won't look at it as a negative to the company. They'll look at it as something that's really important to know and do. Who's your clientele? Now, not specific names, but small business, medium business, large business?
So usually small to mid-sized businesses with 50 employees and above. Anything smaller, I just work with a partner on, but my focus is on the mid-sized business space.
50 employees? I'm getting to 11. I thought that was a lot. Do you find that there have been a lot of changes since you started in the industry?
Yeah, the industry has changed a lot just in the past 2 years alone. I think the biggest change is just with the technology that's been coming out just all across the board.
Right.
In general, technology is changing the world so much, so you have to adapt or you're not going to exist. So we rolled out something that was really big, and it's the pay anytime feature. So normally when you're running payroll, you're charged per payroll cycle, whether you're bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and what we rolled out is you can run it as many times as you want on or off cycle, and there's no extra charge for it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That would be good because I could write myself payroll every day.
There you go. Write your check day every day.
I have to go to Burger King to eat. That's going to be $50. I need more money.
Just sign it.
It's not like it used to be. Okay. So everybody looks at payroll as getting their check, but as a business owner, it's not that simple because we have to figure out the taxes. We have to figure out what has to come out of that check.
Right.
And then we have to figure out what do we do with what we took out of the check. Okay? And if we don't do the right thing, we have some issues to deal with, major issues. But there's so much more than just that payroll thing. What are some of the issues that HR deals with on a regular basis?
Yeah, so think about anything in the employee life cycle from when you started a company to when you retire, you transition out. So anything from onboarding, like integrating with different job boards, or the big war on talent that we have right now where everyone's looking for workers. So we help with things like that. But once you get someone in the door, we help you keep them in the door and retain your talent too. So that's been a big thing. Tax credits. A lot of companies don't realize that they could be taking advantage of work opportunity tax credits. So they're up to $9,600 per employee that's eligible. It could be like a veteran, somebody coming off government assistance, and ADP processes all of that for them at the end of the year. And it's a huge area a lot of companies I meet with don't think about or didn't know about.
So what ADP is doing is they're taking that off of my plate.
Right.
Okay. And do we pay per employee, or do we pay, one employee makes $15 an hour, one makes $37 an hour. Is it different cost for each employee?
Yeah, so it's a great question. It depends on which kind of platform you go with or which offering, but for the most part, it's based on per employee, not like amount of money. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm paying the people here $2 an hour, so you can't.
That's pretty good.
You can't take much out of that. And I yell at them. Can I do that? Am I allowed to yell at them?
No.
No. Okay. No. Sorry, guys. Do you? I mean, when HR became big in a smaller company, it really became big. And I hate to say it, and I could be wrong, but I think if you go back a number of years, it became big in the sexual harassment because women were first coming into the workplace, and men didn't know how to deal with it because we're stupid. So, oh look, a woman. Okay, has that like kind of leveled off? If people finally realize that she's a woman doing the same job as you need to treat her just like you would treat the guy there.
I think it's come a long way simply because of all of the legislation that's been put in place around that. So when you get past that 50 employee mark, there's so much more that's added to your plate that you're accountable for. So many more rules that you have to follow, and even more once you get to 100 employees. So most of these companies are having to put in training in place, like violence in the workplace, sexual harassment. So we help them do that too. And sometimes we'll meet with a company that should have it in place by law but doesn't, so we can get it in place pretty quickly for them so they can stay compliant.
So, in other words, what I'm getting at is stay at 49 employees.
Yeah.
49 employees.
And if you get to 50, call me.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's that. I think running a small business, I'm doing it a long time, it's a little different for me. But if you're starting a small business and you have to work on payroll and stuff, you're taking time away from what you do best.
Right.
So there's a scale of balance to what it's worth. So if it takes me 2 hours to do payroll, and I'm making $20 an hour, okay, that's $40 for the 3 people that work for me.
Right.
Where I would probably, and I don't know the numbers and I don't want to get into the numbers, but I would probably save money by using ADP, okay, because I can make more money in that 2 hours
right.
than I would, doing something else like payroll.
Right.
Okay. As a business owner, a small business, and I have I think 11 employees. We'll be up to 11 employees. And I mean, I try very hard to treat them like family without a pecking order.
Right.
Okay. I'm still a business owner, and the buck stops here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, I'll say something, and they'll take it personal, but it's really not. It's just about business. I mean, I guess not knowing and not having the training, I don't know sometimes how to say something.
Right.
Okay. Like, can you take the garbage out? You haven't done anything all day. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Okay. But do I have to say, can you please take the garbage out? I don't know that I have to say, please, I'm paying you. If that's what I asked you to do, you should be doing it.
Right.
Okay. And I always say there's a way to say something. You can call someone an idiot and they're going to punch you in the face. You can call someone an idiot and they'll laugh with you.
Right.
Okay?
That's true.
So I think in HR, when you're dealing with a lot of people, you're dealing with a lot of different personalities. Okay? You know, I have the people that I have here, and you kind of learn their personalities because there's not that many of us.
Right.
You know, does it change if you just have part-timers as compared to full-timers?
I think it does change the dynamic a little bit because they're not there as much as the full-time people are, and they might not always have the same different benefits. Sometimes if you're full-time, if you are full-time, you're over 50, there's another thing, you have to be offering benefits. So
If you're over what?
if
50
you're
employees?
over, yeah, don't fact check me on this. It's 50
Okay.
or 100. I don't have my cheat sheet here.
Okay.
But if you're over a certain amount, you do have to, I think it's over 100, but you do have to be offering benefits.
I do.
for
I
anyone
offer them
over
the
two.
benefit to come to work.
There you go.
And get
Then
my-
you're good
get
to
a
go.
paycheck.
And then you sign your check at the end of the day.
Right.
Every day.
Sometimes I sign that check. Okay, sometimes I don't sign. But things have changed again.
Right.
We used to write checks constantly.
Right.
Now you have direct deposits. I'm old, so everybody here has direct deposit but me.
Okay.
I write a check for me. And the reason I do that is because when you start a business, like everybody thinks you're making $1 million.
Right.
But you're not. And these lights don't come on by themselves. Internet doesn't come on by themselves. So my thought was, if I do direct deposits for me and everybody else, and I have a bad month, I'm going to bounce checks. And if I have a bad month, my check stays out. I won't cash it because my workers got to get paid. So it's really important to me to keep my check just in case. And though I don't have the problem anymore, it's just a habit I got into.
Just stuck with you.
Yeah, and now it used to be I'd go to the bank and deposit a check. Now I can do it on my phone. I mean, we're becoming a lazy society.
Right.
Okay, and again, being old-fashioned, using old-fashioned things, I think some of it is better. I think some of it's not better. Okay, what's the biggest complaints that come to you?
The biggest complaint I think I hear is probably either the technology that's already in place not doing what it's supposed to be doing because it's either not set up the right way or there was kind of a misunderstanding in the process of it getting set up. So it just comes down to that, or just the time spent doing payroll. Because think about if you had to do this for 300 employees all by yourself every week or every other week or however often you do it. And if you're spending 2 hours on it a week, it's over 100 hours a year.
Okay, if you have 300 employees and you can get your payroll done in 2 hours or 3 hours, I'm going to hire you. Okay, because you can't. Okay, if you're doing payroll for people who are working different hours, you got to pull their timesheets,
Right.
see what they did, then do their thing, and then if you're using old-fashioned way, then they do all the deductions.
Right.
I mean, now you can plug a lot of it in, and deductions are done for you. But a place like ADP, you don't even have to think about it, right?
Right. And I think that's the most common complaint that I hear, but the most fun part for me of this job is figuring out what that complaint is going to be and the disconnect, because a lot of companies will have different systems and they're not talking to each other. And the main reason I got into business at ADP up here is because I grew up here. I want to help businesses here locally stay around and be compliant. So it's kind of fun to put all the pieces together. Okay,
I hate the word compliance. I deal with a lot of financial companies, and they have to go through compliance when they're talking about numbers.
Yeah.
And some compliance departments are miserable to deal with, and some are really easy and get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we live in a world of marketing through technology.
Right.
And a lot of compliance companies still have older people who don't know the technology, and it sometimes it's really difficult for someone like me. But I get it. As we grow, it gets harder and harder for me to control. And a company that does HR and payroll is really an advantage to saving money.
Mm-hmm.
But most important, it'll save the rest of the hair on my head. Okay, because there are nightmares when, it's not like something that breezes through. It takes time. And when there's an error, meaning they didn't clock in, I have to adjust the time, that even takes more time.
Right.
And you guys do all that.
Yeah.
Okay, how do people find you? You have a phone number?
Yes.
Which is?
It's 772-291-8154.
Okay, and you guys have a website, I guess?
Yes. We
Which
have a
is?
website if you want to look for more information. It's www.adp.com. So once you take a look at it and you want to talk more, give me a call.
You know, you've got to heard me say it a million times. Always use a professional. If you don't use a professional, expect it's going to cost you 5 times as much and 10 times as much aggravation. With that, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Everybody have a great day, and we'll be right back.